Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 6. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajakachaja Stotara Sata Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prince Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 6. Bandhur atmat manatasya yenat maivat manajitaha atmanastu shatrudve vartetat maiva shatruvat. Bandhur atma manastasya yenatmana vanajitaha atmananastu shatudve vartetatma iva shatruvat. Bandhur atma manastasya yena atma naivatmani jitaha Atmadmanastu shatudve vartetatmaiva shatruvat. Bandhur atmat manastasya yena atmaivatmana jitaha atmamanas shatudve vartetatmaiva shatudvat. Bandhu, friend. Atma, mind. Atmanaha, of the living entity. Tasya, of him. Yena, by whom. Atma, mind. Eva, certainly. Atmana, by the living entity. Jita, conquered. Atmanaha, of one who has failed to control the mind. Anatmanaha, to but. Shratut, shatrudve, because of enmity. Varteta, remains. Atma eva, the very mind. Shatruvat, an enemy. Purport, translation and purport of Srila Prabhupada. For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his very mind will be the greatest enemy. Purport. The purpose of practicing Eightfold Yoga is to control the mind in order to make it a friend in discharging the human mission. Unless the mind is controlled, the practice of yoga for show is simply a waste of time. One who cannot control his mind lives always with the greatest enemy, and thus his life and mission are spoiled. The constitutional position of the living entity is to carry out the order of the superior. As long as one's mind remains an unconquered enemy, one has to serve the dictations of the anger, lust, anger, avarice, illusion, etc. But when the mind is conquered, one voluntarily agrees to abide by the dictation of the personality of Godhead, who is situated within the heart of everyone as Paramatma. Real yoga practice entails meeting the Paramatma within the heart and then following his dictation. For one who takes to Krishna consciousness directly, perfect surrender to the dictation of the Lord follows automatically. Bandhur atmat manastasya yena atmaiva atmana jitaha anatmanas tu shatrudve vartet atmaiva shatruvat. So Krishna continues pressing this point that the control of the senses is crucial in understanding our spiritual identity, and once we understand our spiritual identity, we are able to connect on the spiritual level with Krishna. Once we connect with Krishna, we become free from fear, we become free from want, we become free from doubt, and more importantly, we tap into the ocean of love, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Sindhu means ocean, Bhakti means devotion, and Rasa means exchange of loving affection, exchange of feelings. Practically our life is made up of feelings. No man is an island. Everyone needs to exchange with someone. And ultimately, the best feeling and the best exchange and the best loving relationship is with Krishna. Because with Krishna, the loving relationship is eternal. You become free from fear. You may love someone on the material plane. You may love your husband, or you may love your wife or your children. But these are fallible soldiers. They cannot protect you at the moment of death. And anyone, even if you don't admit it consciously, being absorbed in loving exchanges on the material platform are colored by the subconscious understanding that this is temporary. It will be finished. It doesn't matter how blessed you may be. It doesn't matter how wonderful your material life may be. It doesn't matter how much material property or material friends you have, it will come to an end. And you don't know when that moment will happen. So any sane person should understand that because I don't know when I'm going to die, then that is a big problem. I don't know if I'm going to die the next minute. But people live as if they're going to live forever. They don't give a thought that death will come. It's like the hunters in Africa. We've seen films. There is thousands and thousands of wildebeest grazing in the African veldt. Wildebeest is like a cross between a buffalo and a deer. They're like buffalo-like animals. And they are grazing, and the hunter comes with his gun, bam! And one falls down, boom, on the ground. He's dead. All the wildebeest run. But after 2 minutes, they stop running, they slow down, they again start grazing, bam, as if nothing had happened. And again the hunter strikes, bam! Again they run, again they slow down, again the fear is gone. They don't understand that they're being killed one after another. Now, we are not beasts, wildebeest or domesticated beasts. We are human beings. We can understand that we're being hunted. The poor animals, they have no idea. They don't understand that death is knocking on their door. Although they are always in fear. Sometimes when I look out of my window, I have a garden in the back of my house, and there is so many birds that come and they fly, but they're always moving. They're never still. Always looking behind, looking up, looking down, because they're afraid that they may be injured. So, Jamma mritu jara vyadi dukkha dosha anudarshanam. Krishna says, look, these are the real problems. The problem is not how to fill your belly or how to satisfy your different senses in interacting with the material energy. That's not your problem. The problem is that you have to take a birth in this material world. And anyone who is born has to die. So birth and death, these are problems. Old age is a problem. Disease is a problem. No one can escape. It's not because somebody is materially successful and very rich and powerful, and he can hire the best doctors and the best hospital and the best medicine. It doesn't mean he will not get ill. It doesn't mean it's guaranteed to be cured. The parents, they may train their children and they may give their children the best advice, the best education. There is no guarantee that the child will turn out to be a good person. So there is a Daiva Netrena. Daiva means beyond the material consciousness or the material vision, and Netrena means to supervise or to see. So Daiva Netrena means we are being controlled not only in this level, but even on a higher level. It's just like if you look at some ants, in India, there is ants everywhere. So you can look at them and they're going left and right and center, and they're busy with their ant duties and activities. They're not aware of you, that you're looking at them. Even if you try to stop them, they try to go around. You put your hand down, they will go around the hand. They don't understand that they are being controlled, that there is someone far superior to them who can maintain them or kill them. Same way, there are demigods or greatly powerful living entities who control every aspect of our life. Because the material energy, when we identify with the material energy, when we identify with our senses, when we want to enjoy the property and the environment in which we live, and don't understand that we are enjoying somebody else's property, then we become subjected to control. And that control is given by the demigods. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that the material energy, the living entity, comes into the material world, to enjoy, but he has to enjoy according to the rules and the laws of the material world. And those laws are that we are receiving all our necessities, sunlight, moonlight, water, land, food, from superior authorities. We call them demigods. Why? Because they are powerful. They are like God. They can control our lives. If it stops raining, we die. If the sun doesn't shine, we don't live. So the purpose of conscious life, of erudite and understanding life, is that we are obliged to superior authority. Therefore, we should offer in sacrifice, which is called a yajna. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, live in a material world, you hear, offer all your activities in sacrifice to the demigods, and they, the demigods, being happy with your submission and understanding, they will supply you all your needs. This is how the world is designed. You cannot escape that design. The needs are being supplied by somebody else. And we, as a duty, should be thankful. And that thankfulness is shown by performing yajna. Therefore, it is said, yajna vai Vishnu. The Lord Vishnu is a personification of yajna. Why? Why is Lord Vishnu the personification of sacrifice? Because everything is coming from him. And even if you don't accept that, you have to admit everything is coming from a superior controller, which is called Ishvara. And Krishna's name is Parameshvara, the supreme controller. So, Yajna Vishnu, our relationship with Vishnu is based on sacrifice. Sacrifice in which way? Sacrifice in understanding that we are his servants. In the last class I mentioned that we offer our food to Krishna. Krishna says you can offer me leaves, water, fruit, patram, pushpam, palam, toyam. Yo me bhaktya prayachati. You can offer it, but with devotion. Tadaham, that food, bhakti uparitam, which is offered in devotion, asnami, I will accept it. But there is a condition, prayatat manaha, that one who offers this food has to be pure in heart. You cannot cheat Krishna. You cannot make a show that, I will go to the temple, I will give a donation to the sadhu, I will perform sacrifice, I will enjoy. But the inner desire is to enjoy and not to surrender to Krishna. Krishna is not such a fool that he cannot understand what your sentiments are. So he's within your heart and he knows exactly. He's called Bhavagrahi Janardana. Janardana means the leader of all men. And he's Bhavagrahi. He takes the essence. He takes the bhava, the emotion. He doesn't, when, it's a nice example that before the war in Kurukshetra, Krishna was sent to Hastinapura to meet with Duryodhana and his team to try and sue for some peace. So when Duryodhana understood that Krishna is coming as a royal ambassador from King Yudhishthira, his cousin, he made wonderful preparations for the arrival of Krishna. He sprinkled rose water on the road. He built beautiful gates from banana trees and coconuts and mango leaves every step. There were platforms erected so Brahmanas would chant the Vedas. So as Krishna and his entourage were coming into Hastinapur, they were welcomed by this beautiful arrangement. And Duryodhana, because he was older than Krishna, of course, he was superior in the material state of affairs. He sent his younger brother Dushashan to welcome Krishna and to bring him into the palace. So Krishna was brought into the palace, and then Duryodhana said, very welcome Krishna, we are so happy that you have come. I have prepared this beautiful feast for you. Please come and sit and eat with us. So Krishna says, I cannot do that. I cannot eat with you. Why not? Because my mission has not been fulfilled. After my mission is fulfilled, then I will eat with you. So you're very clever, Krishna. So he went away after that. He went away from that reception, and he went to the house of Vidura, who was the uncle of Duryodhana. And Vidura welcomed him. He didn't respect Krishna, and all he had is some bananas. But Krishna was very happy to eat the bananas. He refused the huge opulent feast prepared by Duryodhana, but he ate the simple bananas offered by his devotee. That is called, why? Because Vidura offered the bananas in loving devotion, bhakti uparitam. And because Vidura was prayatatmanaha. A prayatatmanaha means a person who is spiritually pure, who is pure in action and pure in spirit, who is not a cheater, who doesn't lie, who doesn't try to use Krishna for his own. Duryodhana was offering the feast, and he made all the gorgeous arrangements so that he could convince Krishna to come on his side. He had an ulterior motive. Vidura had no ulterior motive. He was shocked. He was so surprised that Krishna, my Lord, has come to my house. And he was very happy to offer him some bananas. And Krishna was very happy to eat. Because Krishna is Purnam. He is complete. Om Purnam Adaha Purnamidam. Krishna is perfect and complete. Purnat Purnat Avashyate. If you Purnat Purnasya Adaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Krishna is so complete that if you take away the complete from him, he remains complete. It doesn't require anybody's feast. It doesn't require anything from anyone. He is Atma Rama. His Rama, his enjoyment is within his part of his wherewithal. He is Krishna's structure is Sat, Chit and Ananda. Krishna is made of these three things: eternity, knowledge and bliss. And he requires no help from anybody else. So the purpose of yajna, of offering sacrifice, is not for Krishna's benefit. It's for our benefit. It's to clean away the illusion that we are independent of God, and again awaken in our heart our relationship with him, which will become so beautiful and so wonderful that you'll be able to overcome birth and death because of this knowledge and because of this. And in fact, when you reestablish your relationship with Krishna, nothing else will compare. You will not give it up for anything. Everything you'll see will be connected with Krishna. So, Krishna also says, Yajna Shishtashina Shanto. Shanto, if you want to become peaceful, you have to take the remnants of Yajna, the remnants of sacrifice. Muchante sarvakil bishahai. Why is that? Because when you perform yajna, when you perform sacrifice, you become free from all sin. You become free from all illusion. You actually understand things as they are, and you put them in practice in your day-to-day life. Bhunjate te agam papam ye pachanti atmakarana. Krishna says, but someone who cooks for his own satisfaction is only eating sinful activities. So it doesn't mean that if I cultivate my land and I grow my produce and I cook it and I eat it, I'm eating sinful activities? Yes. Why is that? Because I don't recognize that it doesn't belong to me. I don't recognize who is the supplier. My God, even if somebody comes and gives you a gift, you immediately feel obliged to say thank you. It's normal. What to speak of someone who gives you life? That is Krishna. So, when the senses, when the mind, in this verse Krishna is talking about the mind, that the mind can be your best friend and the mind can be your worst enemy. It depends, because the mind accepts and rejects, and unless you apply spiritual intelligence, there is no possibility of controlling the mind. When the mind is out of control, anything can happen. It's just like, it's an example I often give. Suppose you're driving in a motor car down the highway, and you're driving at 70, 80 miles an hour, very peacefully. You can put on your radio, you can listen to music, you can look at the countryside, you're driving along the car. You're under control. Car is in your control. You can be very, very happy, thinking, singing a song, listening to music. But suppose there's an accident. Suppose one of the tires blows out. And at 70 miles an hour, the car begins to swerve down the highway. And it begins to spin. And other cars are coming towards you. There could be an accident at any second. What, you're going to listen to your radio then? You're going to admire the countryside? No. You're going to be holding on to the steering wheel, waiting for the inevitable crash. Everything will be taken away from your control. You'll be in abject fear. So this is material life. Material life is actually a car crash in very, very slow motion. Therefore, we have to perform yajna. And to perform yajna, we have to have proper intelligence. And the intelligence will guide the mind to accept what is favorable for devotional service, what is favorable for knowledge, what is favorable for reality, and will reject that which is illusory, which is temporary, which has nothing to do with who you really are. The body has nothing to do with who I am. I am the owner of the body. Just like I take, these are my glasses. I am not the glasses, and the glasses are not me. The glasses are one principle, and I am another principle. I am the owner of the glasses. Similarly, this is my body. The body is one principle, and me, I am another principle. I am not the body, and the body is not me. I am the owner of the body. This is knowledge. Yat tach jnanam matir mama. That is real knowledge. Kshetragyam chapimam vidi. I am in everyone's body, Krishna says, in everyone's heart. Sarva kshetreshu. Everybody. Kshetra kshetragayor jnanam. To know the body and the owner of the body, yat tach jnanam. That is real knowledge. Matir mama. That is my opinion. So, Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, has been extant for 5,000 years, and it has been loved and understood and studied by thousands and thousands of great mystics and philosophers, people who were detached from material life, who were not in this material world to exploit others, who understood the process of birth and death. So it is no ordinary book. So when the author of this book, Krishna, says, Matir Mama, this is my opinion, then we should pay attention. And by paying attention, we can actually perform yajna. And in these days, we're living in Kali Yuga, there is one yajna to perform only. Very simple yajna, which is the chanting of the holy names of God. The other types of yajna, Ashwamedha yajna, Go yajna, so many different sacrifices, they are not possible to be performed in Kali Yuga. There are no qualified brahmanas who can chant the mantras. There is no understanding of the need of yajna in society. Our leaders don't understand that we are spirit. They don't believe there is a next life. They may say they are religious, but they are not in their activities. So Krishna has understood the difficulties and the restrictions of the times in which we live. So he's given a very simple program. Simply chant Hare Krishna, and by that chanting, you will get a taste of who I am. You will get a taste of your connection with me. You will become free from identifying with the body. And when you get that taste is so superior, it is so sweet, it will give you the power to give up material attachment. Therefore, Thakur Bhaktivinoda, who wrote many beautiful poems, he says, Manasa Deya Geya Yokichumor Arpilutu Apade Nanda Kishore. But dear Krishna, Krishna is called Nanda Kishore. Nanda is Krishna's father, Nanda Maharaj, and Kishore means child. So Krishna is Nanda's child. Manasa Deya Geya, my mind, my body, and my house, Yokichum, whatever else I have, I'm surrendering unto you, my dear Krishna. So this is the result of chanting. You come to this point that you think, everything I have, I'm willing to give to Krishna out of love. When you love somebody, you want to give him everything, including your heart. That's understandable. Shampade vipade. Bhaktivinoda says, whether I'm in wealth or whether I'm in misery, jivana marane, whether I live or whether I die, daima magela tua pada bharane. My anxiety, my difficulties have all gone from the moment that I've accepted your lotus feet. And marobi rakubi, whether you kill me or whether you protect me, jo ichatahar, it is your wish. Why? What does Bhaktivinoda says? What does he teach us? That even I live or die, it is up to Krishna. It is his wish, not my wish. Why? Nitya dasa prati, because I am your eternal servant. Therefore, tua adhikar, it is your right to chastise me or to protect me, to kill me or to maintain me. So this is the process of devotional service. It is very easy. By chanting Hare Krishna, the mind will become cleansed, our relationship with Krishna will become awakened, and from that position, from those feelings, we will get the strength to overcome birth and death. Thank you very much. So we have some guests. Mandi Priya from Cambridge, Hare Krishna Prabhu, and Atmavidya from Germany. Humble obeisances, very good class with a lot of illustrative reminders that life may be taken away at any time. Mandy says, thank you very much. As always, I enjoyed your class this evening. Thank you. I must remind you that without you, my class would be useless. So, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. And Atmavidya, as far as understanding that life can be taken away at any time, there is a very beautiful example by Govinda Das. Kamala jala dala, jivana tala mala. That life is like a drop of water on a lotus leaf. The lotus leaf is very big, and a little drop of water doesn't go into the lotus leaf because the lotus leaf is impermeable. Water doesn't absorb water. So the drop sits on the lotus leaf, and at any movement of the leaf, it slides off into the leaf. So our life is like that. It's like a drop of water on the lotus leaf. Therefore Govinda Das says, Bhaja un Hari Pada Nitire. Always worship the lotus feet of Krishna so that we will become protected from death. Thank you very much. See you next week, Wednesday. Hari Bol.